this, that means you're supposed to give a control to him. So it's actually just being made harder because then women will have started thinking that they think they're not slaves. They think that they are equals. But then that's why all these people are saying things about wanting submission and control and things like that. Because, and it's even like there's so many people, men, guys, they think, okay, if I pay for you, if I buy certain things for you, that means that I get to hurt you, I get to cheat on you, I get to do this to you. And somebody even just told me that yesterday, like if the man is providing, oh my gosh, y'all don't even know what the hell I just heard. Listen to this shit. Okay, you actually do know, but I took like a fourth of an edible to see if I like, cause I started taking a full piece, and now I'm thinking like I would have been taking a full piece and whatever. Um, and I only try to buy it twice a month because you know I don't want it to be an addiction. And I'll like take it for a week, don't take it for a week, take it for a week, don't. But it's like anyway, I started taking more, so I was taking like a full piece, and then before when I first started with 10 milligrams, I was just taking half. I upped to a full piece, but I'm like, should I really be using that much to be honest? Um, I mean, it's not like it's. I mean, I don't know if there's anything wrong with it, but I'm basically just trying to make it last longer. So I would like to be able to, instead of taking so much in one day, I can like spread it out over time. And if I can still have a nice effect to it while using less, I think that that's a better option than thinking I have to use so much. So I took literally like a half of a half of a, so that's like a fourth. And I took it a couple minutes ago, but it already seems to be working. If anything, I wouldn't even mind because my thing is, it's like, do I just think that something's happening by taking it? Because it's like when I know I'm gonna take it, or when I do take it, then it's like I start feeling like this energy, like, and it's like, is it really just a placebo effect? I don't know, but I wouldn't mind if it is a placebo effect because that's actually better for me. I can have a placebo effect, and then like it already feels like intensely working already right now, so I'm very happy about that. But also, I'm like trying to ensure that the piece doesn't go away, so I'm maybe possibly even forcing it. Like I said, like a placebo, like oh yeah, like something must be happening, like similar to what usually happens. Um, but I purposely, I was like, I didn't want to. I kind of didn't think it would work, but then I kind of didn't want to do anything. And that's why I didn't do my makeup or anything. And I was just trying not to go live, but now I was watching the video. Now I'm just yeah. I seen this video of Shrek and Fiona, and they didn't gave Fiona motherfucking plastic surgery, and then they didn't aged up Shrek. I cannot literally not shut up to save my life. I swear. Okay, cause for real, like yesterday, people were telling me that I talk too much. And I was like, but the crazy part is like dead ass when I was on the live that I was on, because I had joined somebody's live. But anyway, they literally told, yeah, they were like, you talk too much, like, shut up. Like, every time I said something. But the crazy part is, like, I wasn't even talking, like, I wasn't even saying anything most of the time for a long time. And you seen me on the live. I literally wasn't even saying anything, but every single time I even said, what, that's not true. Literally, I could just be like, "Oh, what? That's not true." And everybody, shut up! You talk too much. Shut up! Like, I literally said one sentence. Mind you, other people were literally talking for like 20, 30 minutes straight at times, and I wasn't even saying anything. But then people would talk about me, and then when I would like just do it, because I knew that I felt they were. Eventually, I realized they weren't gonna let me talk, and so people would mention things about me or like make comments to me or whatever. And then if I say anything back, like that's not true, or what else did I say? I said like I didn't say that. And then I literally could just say a couple words, and then everybody's like, "Shut up! You talk too much." What the? Like, what the heck? I was truly confused. Like, you need to stop. You like, you know that one TikTok that's like, "You need to leave." Like, that's what everybody was doing to me, and it's like, what the heck? I wasn't even saying nothing. And they wasn't even saying nothing. It was crazy. And then it was like I was sitting there quiet, mind you. And then there was times, mind you, everybody in the room was at least 10, 20 years older than me. I was sitting there literally silent. I was waiting because everybody was arguing, going back and forth, screaming and stuff. So I just sit there because I'm a patient, passive individual, and I'm not gonna scream to be heard. So if people want to talk, then talk, and I'm not gonna be trying to talk over you. And then this dude was saying, he was like, we need to be an example for her. Like he kept talking about me, saying, like, we need to be an example for her. She's young, guys. We need to show her how it's supposed to be. He said that like 4 different times over the period of like 2 hours. And then they just kept yelling. They just kept screaming, talking. And so then I was like, how are, well, I actually didn't say that. I was thinking of saying it. And I'm like, how is he going to teach me what to do? But I'm literally being the example of what he claims he's teaching me how to do. Do you get that? Like, you get what I'm saying? Like, oh, let's be civil. I was the only civil person in the room. Should I just do like sometimes I'll be, sometimes you could throw your wig to the side. Cause like when you just can't get the part right, sometimes you could just hit a side part. It's gonna still pretty much look bad, but at least it looks like you were trying to. It's just I don't know. I find it less distracting. This personal opinion. Um. So anyway, I just seen this thing. Oh, I was about to. I use a filter. I feel ugly today. Just today. I'm coming out because I've been wearing makeup pretty much every time. And I started getting validation for wearing makeup. Now I'm insecure to not wear makeup. So I'm resorting to filters and that, but I don't really feel like putting it on. But so I'm basically weaning myself off of the wigs and makeup to try to get back to the point of being confident enough to go live with absolutely nothing. Which technically is what I'm doing right here, but YouTube is different than um YouTube is different than TikTok because people will actually are more likely to see me on TikTok. So okay, that's good. Keep it about right there. Wait, I'm joking. Okay, I just needed to not. Okay, so it's over here. All right. Um. There's something is not working right on here. Why did they go and give my girl Fiona plastic surgery? Like, so tell me why they didn't went and gave my girl Fiona, Shrek Fiona, a plastic surgery. They gave her plastic surgery in the new movie. I'm watching this video and I'm fucking irritated right now from this girl. I should have said you, but it's on my other phone, so you can't blame me. Risa or whatever. I think that's the name. Order Princess. Is she talking about how Shrek 5, the animation, like that's supposed to be Fiona, and yeah, this is her now. Which, if you forgot what she looked like, because it's the comparison that got me like. Right, look. The original in the bottom is the new her. Yet they made Shrek older and gave him wrinkles. So Fiona essentially looks like his daughter now, and Shrek looks like her fucking sugar daddy. And this actually brought me into a separate conversation that I'm irritated about. So now it has nothing to do with Shrek and Fiona, but that just, and you know, it's so ironic. I seen this video because I was sitting here on Hulu watching Adventure Time, and Adventure, and already I'm on the first episode. They already are kind of making inappropriate jokes, which are really not kid friendly, to be honest. And I realized like how much kid stuff really does. It's not really for kids. And of course, it's like, well, it's not. There shouldn't be an excuse because it's adults making it for kids, and I just feel they're just, I like to go resort to what is it called? I like to you resort back to like kid things because I just like to assume that it's safer or better or like healthier or whatever. But the truth is, they be putting a lot of poison inside of kids programming, and I feel that you know, there could be there. I feel there is could possibly be harmful messages in some of these things, right? So I don't know. That's probably obvious, but it's sometimes you got to sit and question like, what is it that they're trying to promote? Because in a certain situation like this, um, they're trying to push this concept and this idea of. I was thinking like it's common sense. Well, obviously that's not really how Shrek exactly is because Shrek and Fiona, I don't exactly know how old they were when they first got together, but I would assume weren't they basically the same kind of age or something? I don't know, but it was obviously like no one was drastically like older or younger than the other. So it's like the fact that they're trying to essentially showcase an image where they're showing like an older dude with younger, hotter. They're basically trying to say yes, it's okay for hot young girls to be with old men. And I was then thinking of how that was kind of the plan all along. I mean, in terms of patriarchy and whatnot, right? Because, right, a lot of times it was people. Okay, so once upon a time, people didn't like the way that marriage was set up because it really, when you think of like the origin of marriage, I mean, it was pretty predatory in the sense of, well, when women are literally forced into a relationship just to survive because they weren't, and it's like people want to defend that, but yeah, we should correct that. The concept of like, oh, women never worked. Not true. Women did work, but women were just not paid properly for their work. That has always been an issue, and newsflash, it still is. So the labor that women do to keep this world running goes severely unpaid. That would be even called motherhood, or even though, and it's like if you want to be honest, damn near every single woman, every single girl, if you date me, you've probably been a mother at some point, even if you've never been pregnant, because the lengths that women are forced to go on a daily basis to have to raise men. We all motherfucking mothers at this point. Like, if it's not the one that you're dating and trying to teach him about the basics of human decency and fucking kindness, then it's your brothers or it's your male friends who you have to teach about boundaries, or coworkers that you have to teach about consents just for the fucking fuck of it. So the mothering that women do on a daily basis, even young girls expected to nurture, support, and raise and be mindful of other men and be considerate of other men's lack. So, yeah, we are all being forced to mother men and with no pay. You know what I'm saying? Um, I think there's a bump in here. That's why it's kind of not working. This was not like a hairstyle to do. Like this is only my second time in my life trying to do my hair like this, so it's kind of difficult. I'm struggling. That's not that bad, right? Um. Anyway, I digress. The point is, okay. The point is, when you consider the fact there's a time in history, and it really still exists today, where because of that societal hierarchy that men have and the access to resources that we literally need for survival, that men have historically had over women, and the power imbalance that is foundational to most heterosexual relationships, especially, then it's crazy because why do my eyes look like that? I don't know. So, heterosexual relationships. How do I say that? Yes, there's a power imbalance. Yes, we're being taught. Yes, and so there was even a time of essentially men selling off their daughters for into marriage. That was the point. The daughter was the father's property to sell. And we still hold fairly close to those traditions now, just in a less obvious way. For example, the handing off of the father walks the daughter down the aisle and then literally hands him to the husband and says, take care of her. The concept of needing to ask the dad, ask your father, can he have you? Can he marry you? Can he take your hand in marriage? But what have we done? We've romanticized all of these things. We've managed to find the beauty in being sold off by our fathers and in being so small and so, you know, ownable, that we think it's a romantic gesture for a man to ask our father if they can will allow us to do something that completely has to do with us and our life and our existence and our body and our mind and our, life, right? So it's like, because why don't we ever ask the mother? Why is it no one ever, or even in the concept, why does the woman never have to ask the mom, can I marry your son? We say that's weirdo boy mom stuff. But we see nothing wrong with a man having to ask a man if his daughter can if he can have his daughter's hand in marriage. Or why doesn't the husband ever have to, why doesn't the prospect ever have to ask the mom, the mother, can I marry your daughter? I don't know. But this will be multiple parts I will be discussing because it's also an issue of I'm just gonna end that. Like, I'm done with that. Running up that hill. Got the mic. Um, Somebody once told me I had a horrifying conversation with the man yesterday. Not that that's surprising to anyone, but I believe that I now have deeper insight into what men collectively may believe it means for a woman to be a helpmate, and what men believe a woman's role in society actually is. I don't think it was I had a horrific conversation with the man yesterday. Not that that's surprising, but I believe that I have. Sorry, I don't like how I started it. I had a horrifying conversation with the man yesterday. Not that that's surprising, but I now have reason to believe I. Oh, wait. I had a horrifying conversation. I don't like how I breathe first. I had a heart. Oh, I forgot the words. I had a horrifying conversation with the man yesterday. Not that that's surprising, but I now believe I have deeper insight on what men believe a woman's role in a relationship is, and even bonus information on what a helpmate really means. Stay tuned to find out more. Maybe a lighting change, I feel. Ooh, that's pretty. Probably should just do a rainbow for this one. Today on Heartline Squared. Today on Heartline Squared, we are discussing men being providers. It's a tale, a story, a sentiment that we've been hearing for as long as we've been alive. But where does it come from? Who actually believes that? Because yesterday, as I was having a live, real time discussion with men, they revealed the concept of being a provider is foreign to them. And it was one, not only foreign, not foreign, but it is a concept that has been forced upon them. It's never something they agreed to. It's never something that they hoped to do, specifically for women. I don't really like that. Do I like that? I don't know. On the scene, we had countless men saying that they. On the scene? During the live interviews, on the scene, we interviewed several different men. Wow. On the scene, we discussed with several different men who stated that the concept of men being providers is something that women have completely, 100%, without a shadow of a doubt, created and made up in their own minds. Several of the men, when asked about the concept of a 50-50 relationship, responded saying, percentages don't matter. There are times that, quote, things may need to be 90-10%, 60-40%, 70-30 was mentioned, and also an astounding 100% of the work being done by one member in the relationship versus 0% being done by the other party. Which one is which? Find out in our discussion. Certain men agreed that a viable relationship could consist of a woman, for example, doing 100% of the work. They didn't say woman. Several of the men rallied together to agree and confirm that a relationship would be 100% acceptable if there were 100% of the work being done by one party, whilst the other person did 0%. The details on which gender, which fulfill which percentage was, Several of the men rallied together to confirm that a relationship would be 100% suitable if one individual were doing 100% of the work and another individual doing 0% of the work. Now, details on which gender would be fulfilling which percentage was left unclear. But we can assume which one was which one. Now, in shocking news, we were also notified that now, in a revolutionary update, it was also stated that the concept of asking about finances on the first date was acceptable so long as it was the man who was the one asking the woman about her finances because, quote, he needed to ensure she was in a position mentally, spiritually, and physically in order to be in a relationship in the first place. Makes sense. That it was a man's responsibility, that it was a man's right to ask a woman about her finances and, quote, where she is at in life in order to determine her ability to provide financially inside of the relationship. Several non religious men referred to women in this very conversation as helpmates and believed that it was the woman's role to be a helpmate, a helper to him in the relationship, defining women's role. A term that has, I should say that. Several non religious men throughout the conversation consistently referred to women as helpmates, a religious term that has been utilized to define a woman's role, identity, and purpose on this earth for centuries. Glad to know that the old rhetoric still works for those who won't even commit to the religion itself, but find it beneficial to pick and pull parts of the religion that they deem beneficial to utilize and oppress women. As it is a woman's job to be a helpmate, a helper inside of relation as oh, why do I keep saying that? As it is a woman's role and responsibility to be a helper and a helpmate within a relationship, this is why so many men find the concept of them being a provider confusing. Because being a provider as a man for a woman is an inconvenience. So if relationships are meant to help him, why would he provide for you? It's not helpful for him to lose money, lose resources to help you when you're supposed to be there to help him. Now, we only discussed with a few men, and as we know, it's not all men. I just find it strange the correlation between men openly stating they see women as helpers who should be doing all, if not most, of the relation work to maintain a relationship, and the real men and the real stories that we can observe and speak on, where we traditionally see women doing majority of the work inside of a relationship. And thank feminism for not only giving us the opportunity to be, take care of a household and be a wife and a mother and to cook and to clean. But now we also have the expectation to also provide finances and money, something that men were traditionally expected to do. And now we've even taken the load off of them. And we see this progress, the rights that feminism has given us, as an improvement. Was it an improvement, or did our workload increase while our rights decreased unintentionally? Because now many women, many modern day women who still seek out men for relationships and love and companionship are now carrying the burden of doing everything in the household, including taking care of the children, cooking, cleaning, paying all of the bills, working, while most men either share a argue about having to share a percentage of having to do anything at all, and men who are only helping with the bills or only paying with the bills. You know, different things vary. We don't know everything. Now, as we tie this back into our previous discussion regarding Shrek and how they gave Fiona plastic surgery, pushing out the narrative that it's okay for older men to be with younger women, and cycling this all the way back to the whole notion of marriage, patriarchy, and the roles of women in society in general. We are consistently, our survival, the things that we need to exist and to live, such as food, water, and shelter, were placed behind a paywall that men then forced us to work our way and buy back those resources. And then they tell us, and they have practiced, that the only way they're willing to give us access to those resources, especially in terms of a relationship, is if we give our bodies, our minds, our autonomy, our future, if we relinquish our power and we just obey and submit, or we follow his specific set of rules and standards and expectations in exchange for survival. The difference between now and prior to feminism is oftentimes these marriage situations, which it still occurs now, oftentimes these marriage situations were forced. And that was what it was about. Women wanting to have the choice. The choice. We wanted to be able to choose whether or not we worked, choose whether or not we were married off to a man, whether we had to get married at all. It was all about the choice, they say. But do we ever really have free choice when all of our choices are chosen for us? Men get to give us a multiple choice test of what we're allowed to do. And then we get to pick, as long as it's the very one that makes him comfortable, strokes his ego, keeps him in a position of power and control and in a hierarchy. Yeah, and we can always choose. But don't think it's going to be without constant scrutiny, judgment, shame, guilting, dehumanization, devaluation. Oh, it's, you can ensure that. I guess we can expect for our weather report rain with the chance of bullshit and a eternal and oh, and an eternal obligation to please men and stroke their fragile egos. Before we were women, before women and children were forced off, and it used to be common for women and children to get sold off into marriage against their will, and now women willingly sell themselves off into marriage to men that they otherwise wouldn't even date or talk to if he wasn't doing anything for them financially because there's nothing else to get from him, as men aren't supposed to be emotional. So women have been tricked into accepting money in exchange for true connection and trust. Because elephant in the room, men decide. Because elephant in the room, men have collectively chosen control over community. Because newsflash, oh wait. Because elephant in the room, men have collectively chosen control over connection and community. Thank you. Because newsflash, oh wait. Because elephant in the room, men have collectively chosen control over community and connection. Thank you for listening to Heartline Squared. I feel like I should. Because elephant in the room, men have collectively chosen control over community and connection. You're listening to Heartline Squared. Newsflash, oh wait. Because elephant in the room, men have collectively chosen control over community and connection. You're listening to Heartline Squared. What men believe a woman's role in a relationship is. And even I had a horrifying conversation with a man yesterday. Not that that's surprising, but I now believe I have deeper insight on what men believe a woman's role in a relationship is, and even bonus information on what a helpmate really means. Stay tuned to find out more. Today on Heartline Squared, we are discussing men being providers. It's a tale, a story, a sentiment that we've been hearing for as long as we've been alive. But where does it come from? Who actually believes that? Because yesterday, as I was having a live, real-time discussion with men, they revealed the concept of being a provider is foreign to them. And it was one, not only foreign, not the concept of being a provider is foreign to them. of the men, when asked about several of the men, when asked about the concept of a 50-50 relationship, responded saying, percentages don't matter. There are times that, quote, things may need to be 90-10%, 60-40%, 70-30 was mentioned, and also an astounding 100% of the work being done by one member in the relationship versus 0% being done by the other party. Which one is which? Find out in our discussion. Other party. Which one is which? Find out in our discussion. Several of the men is which? Find out in our discussion. Several of the men rallied together to confirm that a relationship would be 100% suitable if one individual were doing 100% of the work and another individual doing 0% of the work. Now, details on which being done by one member in the relationship versus 0% being done by the other party. Several 100% suitable if one individual were doing 100% of the work and another individual doing 0% of the work. Now, details on which gender would be fulfilling which percentage was left unclear. Now, in a revolutionary update, it was which gender would be fulfilling which percentage was left unclear. Now, in a revolutionary update, which percentage was left unclear. Now, it was left unclear. A revolutionary update, fulfilling which percentage was left unclear. Now, in a which percentage was left unclear. Would be fulfilling which percentage was left unclear. Now, in a revolutionary update, it was also stated that the concept of asking about finances on the first date was acceptable so long as it was the man who was the one asking the woman about her finances because, quote, he needed to ensure she was in a position mentally, spiritually, and physically in order to be in a relationship in the first place. Makes sense. That it was a man's responsibility, that it was a man's right to ask a woman about her finances and, quote, where she is at in life. Quote, about her finances and, quote, where she is right to ask a woman about her finances and, quote, where she is at in life in order to determine her ability to provide financially inside of the relationship. Inside of the relationship. Several non-religious men throughout the conversation consistently referred to women as helpmates, a relationship. Several non-religious men throughout actually inside of the relationship. Several non-religious men throughout the conversation consistently referred to women as helpmates, a religious term that has been utilized to define a woman's role, identity, and purpose on this earth for centuries. For centuries. Glad to know that the old rhetoric parts of the religion that they deem beneficial to utilize and oppress women. As it is beneficial to pick and pull and commit purpose on this earth for centuries. Glad to know that the old rhetoric still works for those who won't even commit to the religion itself, but find it beneficial to pick and pull parts of the religion that they deem beneficial to utilize in oppress women. As it is a woman's deemed beneficial to utilize in oppress women. As it is a woman's parts of the religion that they deem beneficial to utilize in oppress women. As it is a woman's role and responsibility to be a helper and a helpmate within a relationship, this is why so many men find the concept of them being a provider confusing. Because being a provider as a man for a woman is an inconvenience. So if relationships are meant to help him, why would he provide for you? It's not helpful for him to lose money, lose resources to help you when you're supposed to be there to help him. Now we only discuss with a few men, and as we know, it's not all men to help him. Now we only discuss with a few men, and as we know, it's not all men. I just find it strange the correlation between men openly stating they see men, women as helpers who stating they see men, they see men, women, stating they see members who should stating they see it's stating they see stating they see only discuss with women as they see men, they see stating they see as helpers as helpers who should be doing all, if not most, of the I find it strange the correlation between men openly stating they see as help stating they see correlation between men openly stating they see men between men openly stating they see women as helpers who should be doing all, if not most, of the relation work to not most of the to maintain now not most of the relation work to maintain. Now we only discuss with a few men, and as we know, not most of the relation work to maintain as helpers who should be doing all, if not most of the The real men and the real stories that we can observe and speak on, where we traditionally see women doing majority of the work inside of a relationship. And thank feminism for not only giving us the opportunity to be, you know, take care of the house, giving us the opportunity to be, you know, giving us the opportunity to take care of the household, giving us the opportunity to take care of a household and be a wife and a mother and to cook and to clean. But now we also have the expectation to also provide finances and money, something that men were traditionally expected to do. And now we've even taken them. Now we don't. Thank feminism for not only giving us the opportunity to take care of a household and be a wife and a mother and to cook and to clean, but now we also have the expectation to also provide finances and money, something that men were traditionally expected to do. And now we've been taking the load off of them. And we see this progress, the rights that feminism has given us as also provide finances and money, something that men were traditionally expected to do. And now we've even taken the load off of them. And we see this progress, the rights that feminism has given us as an improvement has given us as an improvement. Feminism has given us as an improvement has given us as an improvement. Was it an improvement or did our workload increase? Well, our rights improvement or did our work movement or did our workload increase? Well, our workload increased, our rights decreased intentionally because rights decreased unintentionally because now many modern day women who still seek out men for relationships and love and companionship are now carrying the burden of doing everything companionship, are now carrying the burden of are now carrying the burden doing everything companionship, are now carrying the burden of companionship, are now carrying the burden of carrying the burden of doing everything in the household, including taking care of the discuss with a few men, and as we know, it's not all men. I just find it strange the correlation between men openly taking the load off of them. And we see this progress, the rights that feminism has given us, as an improvement. Was it an improvement, or did our openly stating they see women as helpers who should be doing all, if not most, of work to maintain a relationship, and the real men and the real stories that we can observe and speak on, where we traditionally see women doing majority of the work inside of a relationship. And thank feminism for not only giving us the opportunity to take care of a household and be a wife and a mother and to cook and to clean, but now we also have the expectation to also provide finances and money, something that men were traditionally expected to do. And now we've been taking the load off of them. And we see this progress, the rights that feminism has given us, as an improvement. Was it an improvement, or did our workload increase? Our rights decreased unintentionally, because now many modern day women who still seek out men for relationships and love and companionship are now carrying the burden of doing everything in the household, including taking care of the children, cooking, cleaning, paying all of the bills, working, while most men either argue about having to share a percentage of having to do anything at all, and men who are only helping with the bills or only paying the bills. You know, different things vary. We don't know everything. Now we only discuss with a few men, and as we know, it's not all men. I just find it strange the correlation between men openly stating they see women as helpers who should be doing all, if not most, of the relation work to maintain a relationship, and the real men and the real stories that we can observe and speak on, where we traditionally see women doing majority of the work inside of a relationship. And thank feminism for not only giving us the opportunity to be, take care of a household and be a wife and a mother and to cook and to clean, but now we also have the expectation to also provide finances and money, something that men were traditionally expected to do. And now we've even taken the load off of them. And we see this progress, the rights that feminism has given us, as an improvement. Was it an improvement, or did our workload increase? Well, our rights decreased unintentionally, because now many modern day women who still seek out men for relationships and love and companionship are now carrying the burden of doing everything in the household, including taking care of the children, cooking, cleaning, paying all of the bills, working, while most men either argue about relinquish our power and we just obey and submit, or we follow his specifics to obey and submit to rules and standards and expectations in exchange for survival. In exchange, in, we just obey and submit in exchange for survival. It's in exchange for survival. The difference between now and prior to feminism is oftentimes these marriage situations, which it still occurs now, oftentimes these marriage situations were forced, and that was what it was about. Women wanting to have the choice. The choice. We wanted to be able to choose whether or not we worked. Choose whether or not we were married off to a man. Whether we had to get married at all. It was all about the choice, they say. But do we ever really have free choice when all of our choices are chosen for us? Are chosen for us. Chosen for us. Men get to give us really have free choice when all of our choices are chosen for us. Men get to give us multiple choice tests of what we're allowed to do. And then we get to pick as long as it's the very one that makes him comfortable, strokes his ego, keeps him in a position of power and control, and in a hierarchy. Yeah, we can always choose. But don't think it's going to be without constant scrutiny, judgment, shame, guilty, dehumanization, devaluation. Always, you can ensure that. Always, you can ensure that. You can ensure that. I guess we can expect for our weather report rain. Rain with the chance of bullshit. You can ensure that. I guess we can expect for our weather report rain with the chance. Rain chance. Rain. We can expect for our weather report rain. Rain with the chance of bullshit. Expect for our weather report rain. Always, you can ensure that. I guess we can expect for our weather report. You can ensure that. You can ensure that. We can expect. We can expect. You can ensure that. For our weather report. You can ensure that. For our weather report. Rain with the chance of bullshit. Rain. And weather report. Rain. For our weather report, rain with a chance of bullshit. Oh, yeah. Rain with a chance. You can ensure that. For our weather report, rain with a chance of bullshit. That's really weird. For our weather report, rain with a chance of bullshit. Eternal. Rain with a chance of bullshit and an eternal obligation. Rain with a chance of bullshit and an eternal obligation. With a chance of bullshit and an eternal obligation to please men and stroke their fragile ego. Of bullshit men and stroke their fragile egos. Bullshit and an eternal obligation to of bullshit and an eternal of bullshit and eternal obligation to please men and stroke their fragile chance of bullshit and eternal obligation to please men and stroke their fragile egos. It used to be common for women and children. Of bullshit. It used to be common for women and children to get sold off into marriage against their will. And now women willingly sell themselves off into marriage to men that they otherwise wouldn't even pay or talk to if he wasn't doing anything for them financially because there's nothing else to give from him, as men aren't supposed to be emotional. So women have been tricked into accepting money in exchange for true connection and trust. Because elephant in the room, men have collectively chosen control over community and connection. You're listening to Heart Line Squared. I had a horrifying comment. That was cute. Should I make it sound? I had a horrifying conversation with the man yesterday. Not that that's surprising, but I now believe I have deeper insight on what men believe in woman's role in a relationship is, and even bonus information on what a helpmate really means. Stay tuned to find out more. Today on Heartline Squared, we are discussing men being providers. It's a tale, a story, a sentiment that we've been hearing for as long as we've been alive. But where does it come from? Who actually wrote it? Easy, easy. I had a horrifying conversation with the man yesterday. Not that that's surprising,
hoped to do. On the scene, we discussed with several different men who stated that the concept of men being providers is something that women have completely, 100%, without a shadow of a doubt, created and made up in our minds. Several of the men, when asked about the concept of a 50-50 relationship, responded saying, percentages don't matter. There are times that, quote, things may need to be 90-10%, 60-40%, 70-30 was mentioned, and also an astounding 100% of the work being done by one member in the relationship versus 0% being done by the other party. Several of the men rallied together to confirm that a relationship would be 100% suitable if one individual were doing 100% of the work and another individual doing 0% of the work. Now, details on which gender would be fulfilling which percentage was left unclear. Now, in a revolutionary update, it was also stated that the concept of asking about finances on the first date was acceptable so long as it was the man who was the one asking the woman about her finances because, quote, he needed to ensure she was in a position mentally, spiritually, and physically in order to be in a relationship in the first place. Makes sense that it was a man's responsibility, that it was a man's right to ask a woman about her finances and, quote, where she is at in life in order to determine her ability to provide financially inside of the relationship. Several non-religious men throughout the conversation consistently referred to women as helpmates, a religious term that has been utilized to define a woman's role, identity, and purpose on this earth for centuries. Glad to know that the old rhetoric still works for those who won't even commit to the religion itself, but find it beneficial to pick and pull parts of the religion that they deem beneficial to utilize in oppress women. As it is a woman's role and responsibility to be a helper and a helpmate within a relationship, this is why so many men find the concept of them being a provider confusing. Because being a provider as a man or a woman is an inconvenience. So if relationships are meant to help him, why would he provide for you? It's not helpful for him to lose money, lose resources to help you when you're supposed to be there to help him. Now we only discuss with a few men, and as we know, it's not all men. I just find it strange the correlation between men openly stating they see women as helpers who should be doing all, if not most, of work to maintain a relationship, and the real men and the real stories that we can observe and speak on where we traditionally see women doing majority of the work inside of a relationship. And thank feminism for not only giving us the opportunity to take care of a household and be a wife and a mother and to cook and to clean, but now we also have the expectation to also provide finances and money, something that men were traditionally expected to do. And now we've even taken the load off of them. And we see this progress, the rights that feminism has given us, as an improvement. Was it an improvement, or did our workload increase? Our rights decreased unintentionally, because now many modern day women who still seek out men for relationships and love and companionship are now carrying the burden of doing everything in the household, including taking care of the children, cooking, cleaning, paying all of the bills, working. Well, most men either argue about having to share a percentage of having to do anything at all, and men who are only helping with the bills or only paying with the bills. Different things vary. We don't know everything. shelter were placed behind a paywall that men then forced us to work our way and buy back those resources. And then they tell us, and they have practiced, that the only way they're willing to give us access to those resources, especially in terms of a relationship, is if we give our bodies, our minds, our autonomy, our future, if we relinquish our power, and we just obey into the mix in exchange for survival. The difference between now and prior to feminism is oftentimes these marriage situations, which it still occurs now, oftentimes these marriage situations were forced, and that was what it was about. Women wanting to have the choice. The choice. We wanted to be able to choose whether or not we worked. Choose whether or not we were married off to a man. Whether we had to get married at all. It was all about the choice, they say. But do we ever really have free choice when all of our choices are chosen for us? Not that that surprised me, but I now believe I have deeper insight on what men believe a woman's role in a relationship is, and even bonus information on what a helpmate really means. Stay tuned to find out more. Today on Heartline Squared, we are discussing men being providers. It's a tale, a story, a sentiment that we've been hearing for as long as we've been alive. But where does it come from? Who actually believes that? Because yesterday, as I was having a live, real-time discussion with men, they revealed the concept of being a provider is foreign to them, or not foreign, but it is a concept that has been forced upon them. It's never something they agreed to. It's never something that they hoped to do. On this we discussed with several different men who stated that the concept of men being providers is something that women have completely, 100%, without a shadow of a doubt, created in their own minds. Several of the men, when asked about the concept of a 50-50 relationship, responded saying, don't matter. There are times that, quote, things may need to be 90-10%, 60-40%, 70-30 was mentioned, and also an astounding 100% of the work being done by one cautionary update, it was also stated that the concept of asking about finances on the first date was acceptable so long as it was the man who was the one asking the woman about her finances because, quote, he needed to ensure she was in a position mentally, spiritually, and physically in order to be in a relationship in the first place. Makes sense. That it was a man's responsibility, that it was a man's right to ask a woman about her finances and, quote, where she is at in life in order to determine her ability to provide financially inside of the relationship. Several non-religious men throughout the conversation consistently referred to women as helpmates, a religious term that has been utilized to define a woman's role, identity, and purpose. I had a horrifying conversation with a man yesterday. Not that that's surprising, but I now believe. I had a horrifying conversation with a man yesterday. Not that that's surprising, but I now believe. I had a horrifying conversation with a man yesterday. Not that that's surprising, but I now believe I have deeper insight on what men believe a woman's role in a relationship is, and even bonus information on what a helpmate really means. Stay tuned to find out more. Today on Heartline Squared, we are discussing men being providers. It's a tale, a story, a sentiment that we've been hearing for as long as we've been alive. But where does it come from? Who actually believes that? Because yesterday, as I was having a live, real-time discussion with men, they revealed the concept of being a provider is foreign to them, or not foreign, but it is a concept.
Oh my god, I recorded this on the wrong page. That's fine. I did actually want this to go. I was thinking I wanted to put it on just a new page altogether, or put it on my Heartline Square page. But I thought it was going on the professor account, but no, it is going on the professor account. I thought it was going on Ayana to start, but it's actually going on the professor account, which isn't that bad. Okay, what'd you say? What?
It's just inevitable. Like you're either gonna stay alive in your marriage or you're gonna get divorced, and you're gonna look back on this and be like, God, why did I do that? And all for this? Like, girl, this is embarrassing. You got very young. I can't believe. Okay, so the reason why men don't believe rape victims is not because of the couple of false allegations that happen. Because the majority of people who say that they've been falsely accused, they haven't been. They raped somebody. She's absolutely right, of course, but I just wanted to add some additional thoughts around why men tend not to believe sexual assault allegations. Because it's not just the
I also know that the combination between me and my husband is what breeds us children. So I know for sure that my husband breeds 5 children. As an active participant in natural selection, I have a responsibility to propagate a man who has good genes. My husband has good genes. He's a nerd, so he's got this level of intellect necessary to save humanity, and it must be propagated. It must not end with him. It must be bred into his children. So I can't have more children for him. So I need more to come after my husband. This video is inspired by a video that was made by the House of Animals talking about polygamy. I am very much pro polygamy. I am very much pro polygamy. I have no issues sharing my husband at all. I believe that if a man should have more than one wife, as with already my husband should just get a second wife. I know you're gonna say this is bird behavior, and I don't care. I look at my kids. I look at my 3-year-old son, who is obsessed with us. When I know that his intelligence is inherited towards my son, I also know that the combination between me and my husband is what breeds us children. So I know for sure that my husband breeds 5 children. As an active participant in natural selection, I have a responsibility to propagate a man who has good genes. My husband has good genes. He's a nerd, so he's got this level of intellect necessary to save humanity, and it must be propagated. It must not end with him. It must be bred into his genes. So I can't have more children for him. So I need to come after my husband. This video is inspired by a video that was made by the House of Animals talking about polygamy. I am very much pro polygamy. I am very much pro polygamy. I have no issues sharing my husband. I believe that every man should have more than one.
I'm a mobile employee, and we've started to have customers come in every day or multiple times a day for these new dirty sodas that have 148
But how is it? Gel in my hair, so
This man walked up to me yesterday and was just like, hey, I'm a hairstylist. I do your hair. I was like, oh, okay, I have a hairstylist. And I pointed to my friend, she's sitting next to me, but I was just trying to be nice, trying to get him out of my face in a polite way. He goes, oh, so that's done? I was like, yeah. He looked at me and he said, what do you call it? I said, I call it, my hair is out and wild and free, and I feel pretty, and I feel good. I was like, thank you, bye. So he walked away, he's like, like, okay. And then he gets like halfway down the parking lot, he turns around, he's like, but I like it, I really do like it. I was just like, they are Jazz City. Romance music. I said, mother, open 9-year-old son. Do you know what I see when I watch this?
Why the fuck are you tripping over not texting me for a minute? Do you know who women are? Do you know how women act? You want boys to give you as a prize. Shit. If you want to be in a fucking relationship, you got to pursue a bitch. You got to schedule the dates. Tell them, hey, I'll put something bullshit. This is some cup shit. If you're cheating on a bitch, never fucking apologize. Never try to connect with them. When you're on a fucking date, I want you to talk about your goals, your dreams, and bro, if you actually love her, if you actually want to see her again, if you actually want to take a relationship, don't talk to her when you're around a woman. Never, ever be serious. Never, ever talk about anything meaningful. Never be passionate about what the fuck you're talking about. Why the fuck would you ever want to get married as a man in 2026? Imagine being so fucking desperate to hold on to a woman. You get on one fucking knee and put a fucking ring on her finger. You spend money on a fucking wedding and money on that fucking ring just to take out your fucking shit. Every bitch wants a male who cheats. There's nothing
you all, your success later can mess me up. I'm doing it. Okay. I'm dealing with somebody new, right? And it's kind of fucking creepy. Like, he kept telling me, lie to me, don't lie to me, don't lie to me. Bitch, he was like, I might jail you, trying to find it out. I could say somebody something, and I need to get example. I can't sit here and talk to somebody like, I don't know, but listen, he knows shit. That's like, and then he's like, oh my god, this stuff. And he's like, and then he'll tell you whatever it is. So like, yesterday he asked me, he didn't know about this scholarship. I'm like, no, he did, or somebody I know. I was like, I told him that the time, the date, and who's gonna be focused. My new boyfriend was like, you just lied to me. He's like, you did tell me daddy when the shoot was and then telling the shoot or whatever. He's like, I didn't even tell you the date of his photo shoot at this time. So you know, look at him. That nigga hit me with the date and time. Exactly how I like texted to my baby daddy. My grandpa would ask me a question, and I would flat out lie. Like, it'll be a conversation between me and my aunt, just me and my aunt in the room. And he'll be like, okay, so did this was this said? I'm like, well, he's like, this was. He's like, I can even tell you more. Isn't that crazy? So I tell you that long-term experience, and I've been repeating it every time we speak. And he's like, I got he knows I can't even fucking lie. I can't even fucking lie. Listen,
Where I was like, I honestly think he's actually looking through her phone. I literally was thinking that when I was seeing that video. I was like, because that was new. I don't even know that men can really do that. I don't know. Maybe it can, but it's like it's very rare. But because that's the exact same reason why men have like been scared of women is because of women's intuition. So if a woman can know something, know things about a man, know if he's lying, things can be revealed in dreams, then they're scared of that because then it doesn't let them get away with things. So that's the reason why they do the things that they do to get you not to trust your intuition or get you to fear your own abilities, your own dreams, you know. And I feel like that's why also they make like AI because what they really do, instead of us having this internal wisdom and psychic abilities or whatever, they want to basically gain access to information so they can have as much leverage as we could have on them, you know. So we're basically just compiling like data on us, and that's why they use like the predictability and stuff. They're basically trying to be able to have basically they're trying to be psychic, you know. They're trying to know everything about us, the way we think, our feelings, our emotions, letting algorithms predict things, compiling data on us, so that they have a better idea of how to control and manipulate us. You know, and so I'm like, oh, I gotta say that, and I feel like, and it's like it's going to such great lengths. Men nowadays, they're like figuring out how to hack into your phone or like copying your phone to another phone, hacking your computers, your webcams, or whatever. To where, for all you know, that man could just have a tracker or you know, did something to her phone where he can see every message she gets, or just know her password that he found out somehow, or he has a camera hidden in her house somewhere, seeing her everything, hearing everything she does. You could never know, you know. But that's the intuition that women used to have, and women used to develop, where they can hear things and see things and know things without the men being there. But then men, I feel like I don't know how it happened. I don't feel like thinking about it. Somebody.
cut you off. Your success later in life will not make me regret it. You could win all the fuck you want. I'm not no hater. But you're still not somebody that I want in my fucking life. I've never been one of them people to, you know, I am this person. Okay, you can raise your team. I know you don't want it. When I first started making TikTok content, and even now, one of the most common things is I'm a child, bring a child, even husband or just kids play house. The thing I've seen is I've seen people around my age influence themselves. Like, I'm 18 and I can't even cook for myself. That's not good. I'm 18 and I'm not an adult yet, or I'm 18, I don't know how to do this, or this, and this. And I'm just gonna say it, you should know how to do that. Don't try and use this. Sounds like you don't want to do this.
Two girls came up to me and one of them was
They did the same thing to me. Outfit of the day. They did the same thing. Outfit of the day. It's like, I told you.
like, made it red.
I'm liking the earring pot so hot.
My name is Dr. Lively, and I wore this purple dress to my friend's wedding, and the internet ruthlessly tried me for it. The internet told me that what I wore was absolutely inappropriate, and there's no way on God's green earth that anybody would ever wear any such thing to a wedding. But here we are. I want to be clear that this creator looks beautiful. She looks stunning. Body tea, dress tea. I looked through her comment section. Nobody was attacking her relationship with her partner. Nobody was attacking her intentions with the bride or whoever's wedding she was going to. Nobody attacked her body. Nobody attacked her, period. Existing as a Black woman can be so exhausting because regardless of whatever we do, we're attacked for it. I said what I said, and I stand on what I said. You guys hate Black women and like to masquerade it as respectability politics.
I'm liking the earring pot so hot.
My name is Dr. Lively, and I wore this purple dress to my friend. Is she not cute? Giving belly, she's giving boobies, giving the lilac. I didn't go OTD. What rating do you guys give us? The internet is currently trying to mark me because I wore this dress to my friend's wedding. Let's talk about it. Well, personally, I have seen women wear the exact same dress that I was wearing to weddings. Y'all have an issue with a dress. Y'all have an issue with me wearing a dress. Y'all are uncomfortable with women being comfortable in their skin. Y'all are yes, look out. I'm going to show you. It's mission impossible. The reason why you would wear that dress to a wedding is to why you would wear it to a wedding. And that's because that day is not about announcing attention and attracting dress. I went to a wedding this weekend. Here's why. Because it wasn't about. She made a video saying, well, ask her permission before I wear that. The fact that you asked beforehand told you that your conscience knew deep down that you shouldn't wear that dress. Because if I wear something appropriate, I'm not going to ask for permission because I already know this is appropriate. Yes, you was funny. It's on my man. You ain't nothing. You wear this.
There's nothing wrong with that. I swear. There's nothing wrong with this dress. Like, what the hell? They definitely attacking her personally. I don't know. I'm just saying. I don't know. But... So if she was saying that she has to be covered up to go to a wedding because you showing skin is like showing off and it's distracting. And it's like then the other girl that nobody said anything about, she had skin out too.
This reads as an attention-seeking moment, and you're not gonna own it. You're not about to come to my wedding that I spent all this money on and think you're the main character in my story. It's not happening.
I wasn't gonna say anything about that woman in the purple dress. You know, the one with the deep V that like did a little reach sort of thing. However, I am
This
just
is so stupid. Like I hate this so much. Like I'm literally listening to videos, watching videos of people talking about somebody criticizing a woman for wearing a dress to a wedding. Like, it's so stupid. This world, it really is. It's like, what?
people are not getting the point. Everyone's
I'll tell her what she needs to feel better herself. Was the dress mistake? Yes. She wore it. It's done. I'm okay with people not liking the dress or feeling like it wasn't appropriate for the occasion. But there were a lot of people, a lot of black women might I add, that took it as an opportunity to bully me with regards to being a man. It's only happy for me to leave. I told her,
Is she not here? Really? Or next someone in the chat.
your husband should have definitely said something to you before walking out of the house. Because I've seen somebody talk about your specific thing. Your husband should have definitely said something to you before walking out of the house. Because I've seen somebody talk. Your husband should have definitely said something to you before walking out of the house. Because I've seen somebody talk about your specific video and they even clipped your husband's reaction.
Somebody commented trashy, sloppy, nasty, and it has 15 likes. I once had a comment removed because I commented a snail emoji. Nothing else, just a snail emoji. This is hate speech. Like, how is that hate? How is a snail hate speech? But trashy, sloppy, nasty is not.
Actions when he saw you in that dress and he didn't even like it. But I feel like that's when he should have said something when the cameras were off instead of just letting you walk out the house as pregnant wife and all.
Some single people be doing that too, saying, "Oh, pregnant wife," and it be single women who use wife as like a they try to. There's women who try to use wife as a control factor against women. Like they'll try to use the term wife as like a way to put someone in their place because they're seeing themselves as single. Then they look at you're married, you're a wife, so you're possessed by somebody. You're basically an owner. You're owned by someone. Like, and then there's certain ways that you have to act to operate. So sometimes they'll be like even they're saying, "Oh, you shouldn't be wearing that. You're married." So they're trying to use her having a husband to control her as a woman. Oh, you're a wife. You need to act like this. You're a wife. Don't you need to be doing this? You're a wife. You need to do this. And it's like, but then at the same time, they're low key jealous in that sense because they're trying to use it as an attack. But then it's in the ones where they say that, but then they still want to be a wife as well. So you're jealous of someone that you view as being controlled, and meanwhile you're vying and you're trying to become controlled by a different man. Like this world is really fucked up.
I okay, those are the last type of thinking we had where stressful now is very
And what do men be always like, we want peace, and then but then they also want to have kids. And for women, you don't have peace when you have kids. Like that's kind of, so then where do the men want the peace? That's why men gotta cheat, because how could they have peace if they get you knocked up and you're being driven? Somebody driving, you got kids driving you crazy all fucking day, but they still need to get the peace from somewhere, because you can't go to him with that craziness, right? You can't be you could be freaked out all day and stuff, but you still gotta bring peace to him. And then if you can't, you don't expect to unload your stuff on him, but then he has to cheat with somebody else to get peace.
Not only does the world not need any more fucking children, any more children, you don't have a child either, because everyone look like this. Every single day, everyone's like,
So many mothers are regretting having children, and like she said, if you like your house clean, don't have kids. If you have a lot of patience, don't have kids. If you value your autonomy, your bodily autonomy, don't have kids. And she's saying that
crazy too that has to be a qualification that women have to be required to be able to regulate emotions for have kids now. They're saying. Who's this? What'd you say?
I said, it's 50 Shades. I said, I called you this morning, too.
Oh, for real?
Mm-hmm.
Alright,
Yeah,
what's
you
up?
answered, but then you hung up in my face.
I hung up?
Yeah, you answered it, then you hung up in my
No, I didn't. I didn't even answer. I didn't even know you called me. I literally didn't.
So, can I be honest with you?
What?
I talk a lot of shit because I like your demeanor. Like, it's funny and it's attractive to me, so that's why I talk a lot of shit to you because I like your demeanor.
So should I be flattered?
Yes and no.
I'm not.
So it's attractive. Your demeanor, very attractive.
What's attractive about it?
Like, you're very chill. Like, I like a woman that's chill.
I'm not chill. You just haven't seen me get crazy yet.
Well, I don't think you're really crazy. I think you're very chill.
Okay, but you thinking and it being the facts of the matter is different.
Well, I guess we'll have to learn the matter of facts, right? Well, I'll have to figure it out, right?
I mean, if you want to
I
waste
think
your
you're very
time,
pretty.
I don't care.
I think that's just you care. Big headed girl. That's what I think. I like your big head ass. So I'll be in town next month for a couple of days. If you'd like to have a date, a little meet and greet with me.
A meet and greet?
Yeah.
What do
Get off the clothes, go somewhere real nice. Maybe spend $200.
I'm really not dating right now.
Well, I didn't ask you that. I just said a meet and greet. I didn't say that we were on a date. I said a meet and greet.
Yeah, you're right. I'm not meeting and greeting currently. My meet and greets are filled up at the moment.
Oh, okay. Well, you can cancel some of those.
I could.
Yeah, you should.
I won't.
I'll make sure you do.
Okay, well, you asked me a question, and I would
Hey.
politely decline.
Hey. I'll make sure you do. Sound good?
You're going to force me? You think you're going to force me?
You know, you ain't here because you want to.
No, I don't want to.
I'm trying to create a friendship if that's all right with you.
A what?
I said, I'm trying to create a friendship if that's all right with you.
A friendship? I don't believe in men and women being friends.
I mean, you gotta be a friend before you can be anything else.
No, that's not the course.
And I believe when you with someone, you gotta be friends as well as well.
I've never been friends with a man in my life. We're not compatible for friendship. Fucking my friends could never be an option. So
Who said I wanted to fuck?
I didn't say you wanted to fuck. I'm saying that you're saying. I'm saying I've never had a
I
man.
would fuck you, but I don't want to. But I would fuck you.
You've already made it clear you have no desire to fuck me, and the feeling's mutual.
Point
that I'm saying is.
When did I say that? I said I would fuck you, but that don't mean I want to.
I'm saying we don't have to discuss that at all because it's not a possibility, obviously.
So how was your day, man?
It's actually ending. I'm about to go to bed. I don't know why I assumed this would be an important call. I answered.
I guess we can continue this tomorrow. since you're about to go to bed. Why did you jump on today? I think I sent to see you today.
I'm on a break.
How you on the break?
I didn't want to go live, so I didn't.
Alright, we'll talk tomorrow.
Bye.
Bye.
The more like tired I am of men, like I realize I don't know what I was thinking. I genuinely thought that was gonna be like an important call because the number's not saved. I did not know that he called me earlier. Apparently, I did answer. I might have been half asleep or something, or maybe I accidentally answered because many people were calling me at once or something. I don't know, but I did see he texted me, but I just ignored it because I regretted giving him my number after I did because at first I didn't realize how annoying he was, and then I gave him my number, and when I reflected on the conversation we had, I realized how annoying he was, like, and how he was doing. What's annoying about him is that he keeps trying. He has like this obsession with. He likes to keep playing this like, oh, I'm gonna put you in your place kind of game or something of saying like, oh, I'm gonna get you together on the back end, or I'm gonna get you in the shape. And then like when I actually went on his live, he's kept like silencing me and stuff and just telling me, just sit there and look pretty, just shut up. Like basically just trying to silence me and stuff and trying to put me in my place. And like even like in the thing I was talking, he was like trying to like say, oh, don't be trying to take over my live and stuff. And he like, it's like he felt powerful or something to be able to like mute my mic or whatever. And it's just like but I had already given him my number after I realized that. So then when he texted me, I was like, yeah, I'm just gonna hopefully not respond back and maybe he'll just leave me alone. So I completely forgot about him and ignored him or whatever. And then I just got this call now, and I genuinely, like I said, for some reason, I thought that was going to be a call from someone relevant. Like I said, like not a person. I don't know why I thought, oh, maybe it's like literally 11 o'clock at night. What time is it? Yes, it's literally like 11 o'clock at night, but the hopeful in me was like, maybe it'll be like about a job or a company, like a brand deal, and maybe, time delays and everything. Like, I don't know. And then these different programs, like sometimes they call it odd hours and stuff. So yeah, I didn't know. But then it was him, and I'm like, oh God. And yeah, that conversation confirmed to me that I didn't like him. He's saying all this thing, oh, I'm going to be in town next month, so could we do a meet and greet? And then when I refer to it as a date, then he makes sure, Mr. Semantics, oh, I didn't ask you on a date. I said, let's do a meet and greet. He said, let's have a meet and greet. You get dressed up nice. I get dressed up nice. We go to a nice restaurant. So I said, I'm not interested in dating right now. And he said, I never asked you on a date. I said, let's do a meet and greet. Which the meet and greet is the exact same description of what a date would be. But he wants it. That's basically him saying, you're already trying to prep me for it. We're not actually dating. We're not actually in a relationship. I never actually pursued you. We were just having a meet and greet. You see how these dudes do? I swear to God, I can't make it up. So I said, okay, well, I'm not interested in having a meet and greet. Having any meet and greets. Then he laughs, and it's annoying because it's like, you would think that should be a problem, but it's like guys like him, they get turned on when you do that kind of stuff. So like that's the thing, like you can't even be a bitch without, because like the point of being a bitch is because you actually are trying to set a boundary, like you actually have an issue with what's being said. You're trying to, you know what I'm saying? And it's just not even trying to have boundaries, but it's just like, if you ask me a question and then I say no to it, you will take that as I'm trying to be a bitch. I'm just answering the question. I don't want to do something, so I'm just saying no, But it's like, yeah, the more you do that and like be a bitch to a man, you realize that only turns them on sexually. Like, and then it actually makes them feel better. So when they are openly trying to push you, when you're saying no, then they like, well, you and I've noticed in dealing with them, and you could hear from the conversation, you see how he kept laughing throughout the conversation. Whenever I was saying no, or I was just being firm and saying, I'm not interested in that, he will laugh because then his mind, he's thinking, oh, this is a feisty one. We got a feisty one here. You know, there he's looking at it like, oh, this one thinks she's, like it's like a challenge, like a fun game to them. Like, oh, I see I'm gonna have to use some different, like it's fun to them, like, oh, I'm gonna have to use some different tactics to get this one. So it's like he gets more of a sexual gratification. It presents more of like, oh, you're really trying to challenge me. So he likes the challenge because he still believes in the back of his mind that he can convince you otherwise. So when you can put up all this game and act so tough up front and so much like, oh, I'm not doing this, not doing this. Because why? He believes his secret weapon is love. That if he can show this consistency and pretend to respect you and pretend to like you, you'll eventually break down and the love is going to turn you into a stupid, weak bitch. And then he's going to feel a satisfaction of, ooh, see, I tamed the beast. I won. I still got it in me. And he'll even feel even more proud of himself than getting with somebody who just does whatever he says off the bat, or you know what I'm saying, who isn't so cold up front. He'll feel more satisfaction because he'll feel even more emboldened to believe, yeah, like nobody can stop me. It helps them feel more powerful when they can break down somebody who starts off. And that's the thing, like women try to pretend like the standards are supposed to be a protection, but it's not even a protection. It actually it actually makes things worse in the long run, is the crazy part, because they get more turned on the harder it is. And then the harder that it is, and that you make it in the beginning, the more he feels like he's won over time. And ultimately, when you want to act all hard, but that's because you just want to you want to be able to feel safe eventually. As soon as you feel safe, as soon as you fall in love, which is inevitable if you're going to keep engaging with somebody, right? Eventually all those walls are going to come down and he's going to feel an even bigger sense of success and power, because he's like, wow, I took a hard stone cold bitch and I broke her down to a dummy who's going for anything. The more drastic you go from being a bitch to being nice, or being nice to being a bitch, it turns them on either way. Even if you start mean, or even if you start super nice, and if they can turn you into a cold, untrusting bitch, they still get a gratification out of it because they know that their behavior, their actions are the reason why they can turn you cold. That's the control. They like to have control over you and your emotions. If they can make you feel angry, they're happy. If they can make you feel dependent on them and in love, then they're happy. So it's like there's no way you can engage with a man and he doesn't see you as some kind of toy for sexual gratification in some way, shape, or form. And my only reason I'm upset is because I wish that I desired men sexually enough to see everything they do as a sexual turn on. I wish that I had that capability, and I'm jealous of them. Like, I'm not even interested in fucking a man enough to view every action, intention, emotion that he has as a sexual invitation or a new sexual kink to try or something. Like, they're not even hot enough to be sexual objects, is the irritating part. And I don't even think love was just created by men for manipulation. I think women came up with love because that's the only way to explain their attraction to men. most men are ugly, but women are not. Not every woman is judging a man based off of if he's attractive or not. So when you can't rely strictly on you're physically attracted to the guy, because that's just the case. So if they're not even physically attractive most of the time, what your attraction then becomes about is like, oh well, like some women they fall in love or they excuse certain things or they see like a unattractive guy is attractive because the feelings that they have for him. You know, that's why you can give credit like, oh, he's like nice to me or he buys me this, he's really sweet or he makes me feel seen or whatever. So that's when you're talking about basically love. So then the love is what's keeping them able to tolerate men at all. Like I'm just saying, you can't even do that as a woman. Like, imagine a woman dating a guy only because of sex. Because most men, you know, they get other things out of it, but a lot of men are dating women just for access to sex. And the reason, because it's like, yes, sex is available anywhere, right? But the concept of dating still heavily involves sex. The point of a relationship isn't just to get sex, but it's also to get free labor and be able to have kids, possibly, right? And some men are even using women for money. That's a different story. Now, in terms of using women for sex, that's why, like with some women, they're like, hey, if a guy doesn't want to be in a relationship with you, not that it matters, but it's usually he doesn't want to. Like in the case, he doesn't want to be in a relationship with you, but he'll sleep with you because that's what he wants from you is the sex part, right? That means that he probably doesn't like you, doesn't think that you could do anything for it. Like he doesn't really think you could do. That's why a lot of beautiful women are also seen as like, oh well, she can't cook or clean or like there's nothing else to offer except for the looks, right? Because it's like, okay, other than your physical appearance, which is about sex, because that's what the appearances are for sexual gratification. So outside of sex, what could this beautiful woman do for me? You know, and yeah, so that's why I'm just saying then they wouldn't want to be with because they're like, okay, well, there's nothing else I can get from you other than this. And if I can get access to this without having to be more, that's what I'm gonna do. So I'm saying imagine women dating men just for sex. Like I'm saying being in a full blown relationship with a man 100% only just for sex. And she doesn't like anything about him. She doesn't like to talk to him. She doesn't like him as a person. She wouldn't be friends with him if she wasn't just trying to get sex from him. So imagine like essentially somebody that you don't like also can easily become somebody that you hate because then they're just annoying to be around, you know? So and then it's like being with the man only for sex, but also being like And you got to think about this is the same playing into a relationship as well. So you're talking about I love yous and vulnerabilities and whatever the case is. But whole time, and you can participate in all of that, but whole time you really don't like them at all, and you just there for sex. Like, what the fuck? That's too normalized in our society. The concept of men, like, do you know how bad that is? That a man will literally be in a relationship with a woman, lie and say all these different things, literally only just to sleep with her. That's what they want. But if they can get benefit from like her cooking or cleaning, taking care of him, spending money on him, okay, cool. But the literal goal is like secure sex. It's like, do you know how, is that not weird that like our society is so, the men in our society are so obsessed with sex? How is that not weird? Literally. That's literally in a, like, we have a global sex addiction problem, seriously. I actually wonder that. At what point do we consider something an addiction? Because our society has been sex obsessed for the longest time. What constitutes as a sex addiction? I wouldn't be surprised if they don't really have any rulings on that at all, because it will be calling out our whole society. I was like, pure chocolate. Compulsive sexual behavior. Hypersexual behavior. Oh, says sex addiction is not an official diagnosis. Loss of control. Behavior may be considered problematic when several of these are present: loss of control, repeated unsuccessful attempts to cut back or stop sexual behaviors, preoccupation, spending excessive time thinking about planning or engaging in sexual activity, continuing despite consequences. The behavior continues even when it harms relationships, work, like, because is that not the case? Cheating is an example of compulsory sexual behavior, and it happens a lot. That somebody will be like, where is the, if this is a could be a danger, for example, right? They're saying continuing despite consequences. The behavior continues even when it harms relationship, work, finances, health, or emotional well-being. So the concept of, yeah, they literally would be willing to risk their health, the health of their partner and their children, possibly. Because some of these dudes even be cheating and stuff when they're on their girl while they're pregnant. But anyway, just risking the health of everybody involved, willing to risk their whole relationship, their whole family, their job, even sometimes, their how, like, life in general. They're willing to do it just so they can get their dick wet for 2 minutes, 30 seconds. So it's like, is that not insane behavior? And then they're saying spending a preoccupation with sex, like spending excessive time thinking about planning or engaging in sexual activity, and then all day long everything is sex, 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 sex. Then whenever, if they think of women in dating, sex, That's all it is. When they're in date from the first date, they're with a woman. They're thinking about sex. Every interaction, everything they say, they do, all the manipulation tactics they've used and publicized, all of it is the intention and the goal of getting sex, you know, or getting control over a woman, right? Like something like that. But it's like sex is a huge factor, you know. So that's crazy. Porn shouldn't even exist. They're so obsessed with it, they need to be able to have 24/7 access to it. Like, that's really crazy. And the fact that people think it's normal that, like, yeah, they're just, like, is that even normal? Most guys, they masturbate every single day. I mean, I can't judge. I don't. I don't. The only reason I'm not judging that is just because I don't know how much women are masturbating, and that would be the defining factor. If a lot of women masturbate every single day, okay, maybe it is normal. But like men masturbating every day, there's something innately wrong with that. Women masturbating every day, there must be a reason. You know, that must be a natural baseline. You get what I'm saying? We can't trust men to set the precedent for natural occurrences, you know, because the odds are if men are masturbating every day, it's not because it's natural. They're probably acting against nature and something clinically wrong is happening. It would be a compulsion that it goes against natural order if men were masturbating every day. If women were masturbating every day, you if you're smart, you're not gonna think, oh, they might have a compulsion. No, it's like, oh, well, that's probably just natural, and she probably doing it because her body needs it. So, but that absolves men, because then if women are in mass numbers masturbating every day, then I would, by proxy, excuse men and thinking, okay, maybe it's just natural. You see how that works? Using sex to cope. And that's all that men do. The whole point of why men need sex so often is because there's essentially unleashing their stress, anger, frustrations. You know, they're always sexually frustrated because they always have pent up aggression from having to be nice all day, from the expectation of even having to be nice. And they claim they're so stressed out about this, that, and the third, and they're really just upset that they can't recreate the Roman Empire and that women have too much fucking freedom. So, yeah, a lot of them are using sex to cope. And that's part of the thing. That's why sex is as accessible and why people don't consider it weird. Because if men didn't have as much access to sex as they did, even through like violent ways, the world would be a lot worse. Because the truth is, men being as sexual as they have been, or as they are, being as sexual as they are now, is the only thing saving the world from not being even worse. Because they're taking that first, men are using sex as a release. You know, they have to get the demons out somehow. turn into sexual behaviors mainly to escape stress, anxiety, loneliness, depression, or difficult emotions. That's all men do. Instead of them having emotions, they fuck. And that's why people were asking, why is sex so violent sometimes? Or people asking, why do men describe sex in such a violent way? And why has that become so normalized? Like people say things like crack, smash, or oh, I'm trying to hit, like I'm trying to, beat it up, or whatever the case is. And yeah, there's a correlation between sex and violence because they're using sex to release their pent up emotion and pent up aggressions, especially in terms, and that's why sex is so patriarchal in nature because it's also specific and intentional that it's violent with specifically with men having sex with women because they're taking out their aggression and their anger towards women through sex. And it's not even just about women, but then that's their way of being violent towards women because of the shit that they might take from men or the things that they're upset about. So they basically are literally trying to fuck the pain away. And that's disgusting. It's crazy even this. They talk about like the post nut clarity and stuff. Like that's interesting. We don't really critique that enough. Post nut clarity, like we talked about it. Was like, oh wow, that's crazy. Yeah. And then the conversation got overtaken with women being insecure and not really knowing if the sex was validating them for how great they were or if they actually were being used for their bodies for an alternate purpose. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that it was right at all. Women were believing they were actually loved. Right? The conversation about post-nut clarity got overshadowed by women being concerned on if their partners ever really love them or actually like them, or were they just lying so that they can get sex to release. And then that's why they realize the post-nut clarity is saying, oh, after I get what I wanted from you, now I don't like you. So that's how the conversation really got overshadowed, and that became the focus of like, oh, well, how do we know if a man ever really likes us or not? Or being anxious and not knowing how to figure how you know if a man really likes you, but still being led or pressured or whatever into having sex with them and having to risk the post-nut clarity anyway, and then just trying to gauge his interest after the sex to see, was it post-nut clarity? Is he still gonna fuck with me after, There's a deeper issue there as well. But the concept of men essentially, and the truth is, I think the truth is about that. Post-nut clarity is actually a lie and bullshit. You see? They're saying, oh, after the fact, they realize they don't like you. No, they always knew they didn't like you while they were trying to sleep with you, but they knew what they wanted to get from you. And that's how, do you see how that's the mass delusion that happens in the lie? And men let women believe that, like, oh yeah, it's post-nut clarity. Like, yeah, we totally are into you before, and then something about after we release, because they're trying to insinuate it's biological. Like, oh, we can't help it. And then women actually believed that of like, yeah, well, he just realized he didn't like me after he nutted. Because men literally tried to play it up like, oh, it's just crazy. Like, I was so into her, and as soon as I finished, then something coming just magically broke me out of it. Like they literally tried to play it up like it was a biology thing, and they had everybody believing that, and people still believe that. I was believing that until literally 10 seconds ago. I mean, I didn't think it was really a biological thing, but it was pretty real. Okay, once upon a time I did, but it's like now I'm realizing that was actually just a lie. Like, no, they actually never. Because why we were so ingrained to believe they actually genuinely liked us before. That at the very least there was like some attraction there, you know. But no, he already knew what he was doing before. He didn't like you before he slept with you. He just had some shit he needed to release off into you, and the clarity is really that he feels better after having sex with you because he basically essentially has spiritually cleansed himself through you more, you know. That's my take. I think every time a man has sex with a woman, he like I think something in him cleanses or heals. Like it's like a reset of some kind, but not a full one. Like it's just small, and I think that's why men have to. That's why men resort to having sex so much, so frequently, because there's a lot that they have to purge out. I think a woman's purging process and why women mostly can have sex less is because while men are waiting to have sex or to release like a nut or whatever to let out all the shit that they're kind of carrying, women, that's what their period does. So that's women's cleansing process, which is natural and it happens every single month. So we can let stuff build up for the month, and then it'll all flush out. You know, we're supposed to flush out and process out through the period, and then we just start building stuff back up. But men, they don't have a flush out process like that. So that's why they basically turn to more of a daily. They try to do like a daily maintenance of getting everything out little by little by little, shedding it out, cleansing out. But and I think that's why they be trying to fuck so much. So the same way, like having all this that stuff in us, the trauma, the things stored, the whatever inside of us, and then it's like you want our men. It's like they always need to release some aggression or release this, release that. Same way women can get hormonal in their pregnancy is same way men are actually hormonal all the time as well. And then that's why they always are aggressive on guard at times. That's why they always need to fuck the pain away. Um, that's just a theory though. Neglecting emotion, neglecting responsibility. What they said escalation, needing more frequent, intense, or risky sexual activity to get the same emotional effect. Yeah, that happens all the time with men. They say men don't go backwards sexually. The more that they try, the more that they experience whatever, they just want more and more and more and more. They don't go backwards. Neglecting responsibilities, yeah, and they do that all the time to cheat. Like neglecting responsibilities to cheat so they can have sex. Determining whether or not they want to date someone based on if they have sex. That's a different topic, not the same. Distress or impairment. The person feels significant shame, distress, or disruption in their life. Examples can include compulsive pornography. I need to take this island off my eyes. This is ridiculous. compulsive pornography use, frequent anonymous sexual encounters, excessive masturbation, cyber sex, or other behaviors. And then it's like even there, like the other ways that men try to keep access to like sexual gratification, like through the everyday objectification of women, like even through utilizing social media just so they can see boobs and ass and Instagram, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, yes, women put that out, but truly women have been primed for that. Really, the internet is just a global back page for men to surveil and watch women. I won't expound further on that at the moment, as I've discussed it before. But yeah, even that, there's using it even for that, just so they can still go, ooh, I see this, I'm looking for this. You know? And you can Google or search anything up online. Even the fact that like OnlyFans and stuff, like they're literally so desperate and like sex crazed that they're literally paying for it. Like, that's really crazy. Like, strip clubs, people are like, why are strip clubs even like? Do you know how crazy it is that strip clubs are even a thing? Like, no shade to people who work in strip clubs and everything, but I'm just saying, like, that's a crazy job to have. Like, okay, imagine this: a rock, right? A rock, a earth, empty planet. Except there's just natural resources, you know, trees, forests, some animals, whatever, people. Let's fast forward and then civilization starts to grow. We're talking having like colonies and farming and whatever. And then even then, like in certain like olden daytime, like having like brothels and stuff. Like, I need to do my research on that. Where did the idea come for like let's let's keep women in a house and then let's let men come and pay to fuck them? Who came up with that idea? Think about strip club. Somebody say, yeah, let's build a place and let's put some poles up. Then let's have women swing on the poles for money. I imagine that must have come from like dance. Like, is that closely related to like burlesque shows and stuff? But even there, like showgirls and stuff. Let's get women to dress scantily and put on performances in front of people, but mostly for men. Cause like the girls are not there to see your boobs in a pearl fucking bralette with a thong on and a big fucking bird on your head. You're basically like a peacock, and men are supposed to be the peacocks to woo the women, but then the women started to perform for the men. Mind you, once upon a time, women weren't even allowed to perform in like theater and stuff. Like in theater at one point, which was before like movies and TV shows, right? They used to have it where even if there was a woman inside the play or something, it used to be played by a man, which is funny as hell the way we do now, because this whole trans shit, all of a sudden men are, I mean, it's not all of a sudden, men have always inserted themselves into playing women or cosplaying women. Always. It's not a new thing. But it's different in a sense the way they're doing, but it's sick to think that men used to take the role of over the role of women because of the ways that they excluded women. Now there's men who want to again be like women. Some of them they're trying to replace women, but it's crazy like that has always been a thing. Like men have always, and that's the thing. Even feminism, they'll try to say women are wrong for feminism. That they were trying to be like men or copy men, take over the man's role and stuff. But again, there was men who used to take women's roles, literally playing. Like you talk about, if it's a play, like think of it, it's a play. It calls for a woman to play the role, but women weren't allowed to do theater. So a man would be cast as every single woman role. If there was a sister, a mother, whatever, in the play for whatever reason, it will be played by a man. And they weren't trans or gay. It was just a man dressed up like a woman, and then it was him. That was counting as him being a woman. So I'm saying, imagine a movie nowadays where you were to see a role where it is supposed to be a woman, but then it's really a man dressed as a woman. Imagine a show that has like a mother, a daughter, a woman teacher, a woman doctor, whatever, and they're portraying themselves as women. The role is for a woman. They're being acknowledged as women, but they're really men. You know, and the fact is we low-key kind of has normalized it now, letting a man who considers themselves a trans woman take over a woman's role or place or enter into a woman's space or whatever the case is. And we will see that, and it's like, it doesn't sound harmless now because we've normalized it now. Now we're saying, oh, it doesn't matter if there's, like, we would celebrate that. We would celebrate a trans woman taking the role taking a role away from an actual woman, because then now we're going to say that that's progress. But back then it used to be the obvious sign of our oppression because women weren't allowed to. But then we're saying, oh, women are allowed to. So what's the difference between women being allowed to but then men being able to do it instead of women who are allowed to do it? Do you get that? And then, like I'm saying, we're saying it's progress. Like, yay, a trans woman is taking the spot of a woman. But that used to be the obvious sign that we were oppressed as a society, as a group, because women weren't allowed to perform at all. So I'm just saying it's just fucked up. Now women are so-called allowed to, but more and more we just keep seeing it growing. Even though women are allowed to do things, it's supposed to be good, but we see time and time again where then, even when women are allowed to, now they're starting to form a preference of having a trans woman, which is a man, do it instead. And nobody sees a problem with that. Because then one day that's going to be a thing, for sure, where they're going to say, oh, because that's the whole trans woman is a woman thing. And if we just blur the line completely between what a real woman is, at some point we can just say, oh, well, we could just give everything to men who are trans women and then just still say, oh, women are included because trans women are women. And that's what's going to happen. Like, I would not be surprised, as crazy as how the first woman president would be a trans woman. More than it would be an actual woman. You know. And then they're gonna say, "Oh, well, women have to." They're gonna do that, and then they're gonna tell us, "Women, well, you have to shut up about it because um, trans women are women." And guess what? If you try to say anything about a trans woman taking your place, you're homophobic. You're transphobic, and that's worse than being a racist now. So all the things that women have been able to do, it's slowly going to be replaced by trans women. I promise you. And it's not even going to just be trans women. It's going to be just straight up men portraying themselves as women. And if you say anything about it, you're transphobic. And then it's going to be straight up men wearing wigs and dresses, taking pictures saying girl power while they're all in the fucking White House. And then and then women are going to be home and they could try to say something, they could try to be upset. And then they're just going to come back and they're going to be like, y'all said y'all wanted a woman president, right? Now you got one. And if you try to get specific, that's homophobic. Oh, so now you're saying, what are you saying now? Trans women aren't women? And then women gonna feel that difference after. They gonna say, well, maybe there is a difference between trans women and real women. When you start, there will be a preference for trans women. In society. We're heading back to founding fathers. Y'all remember the founding fathers? They used to all be in there wearing wigs. And the new founding fathers, they're gonna also be men, all wearing wigs and heels. And they're gonna be trans women. And they're gonna, instead of founding fathers, it's gonna be founding mothers, but it's only gonna be straight men in wigs claiming to be trans women. And then they're gonna tell the world, they're gonna be posting a picture, literally saying girl power. The future is female type shit. And then they're gonna create laws and rules that says you can't say homophobic things, that you're not even allowed to question someone's sexuality and these kind of things. And then anybody who tries to say anything about the founding mothers, they're gonna be put to death, or they're gonna go to jail or prison for hate speech. Can you see the picture? Can't really see it. And, I might just try to post it. I don't know if it's that appropriate. They show a little bit more ways. That's literally how it's gonna be, though. Oh, but so it's basically a picture like similar to the signing of the Declaration of Independence, and instead of founding fathers, there's a sign that says founding mothers, and it's a bunch of white, like buffed up gym bro guys wearing like different kind of blonde wigs or different color wigs or whatever. And there is one guy in there wearing a KKK robe, but I said I wanted all the dudes to have like KKK style like fashion clothes or whatever, but that's fine, whatever. And anyway, okay, I like this, but I was saying for the like the KKK esque style outfits, like I didn't want it outright to be a KKK guy there, and I like the like guys in the wigs, and I like the shoes, and I like the color scheme like with the jackets, and I like some of the open shirts. But can we have some of them have a like a white like bodycon, kind of dress on that's and it has like the hood of the KKK thing and like the symbol of the KKK can be on the dress too, you know. Like it's just supposed to be like a reimagination of the KKK outfit, but in like a dress form because that's like basically their uniform. But I like some of the like jackets and the colors and how some of them have open shirts, so you can keep that. But they're the pants instead of them having pants, they should have like a white mini skirt or something, you know. And then some of these jackets just like have an attached KKK hood or something. Like, try to do that. Thank you. I'm surprised that they were able to get that on a picture at all. But um, I'm surprised at how good the picture they were able to get based on my description. But I should just put my put my damn hair up. Might as well be comfortable. Shit, ow. I have braids, by the way. Like I look a little crazy. I didn't feel like doing my makeup or anything today. all of my For You page.
Sex workers are setting women back as a whole because it's just showing men how many women are willing to compromise themselves and degrade themselves for money, which gives men a false sense of superiority. That's why so many men feel comfortable disrespecting women because they don't take us serious. We got women out here literally showing their body to the world for money. Not to mention how it affects the younger generation who we're supposed to be role models for. There are way too many ways to make money that don't involve degrading yourself, disrespecting yourself, or compromising yourself. I personally believe that all women are goddesses. You are a goddess. You're a queen. There is no reason why you should be trading your body, your temple, for money or anything else. And this is not to bash or shun women who do that type of work. This is just me raising awareness to the
There you go. Oh, ready, go. A few days ago, I posted a video where Alexa made my dinner. Since there are men out here that are saying that women are now being affected by this law.
She's not naturally prettier than you. You're not ugly without makeup.
And if you love anything that much, if you love anything.
What up, everyone? So,
Okay.
what up, everyone? What up, everyone? So,
Okay, you're back. I'm fine checking.
I don't know, but
Yeah. I need to touch that one.
I know the least abusive that have ever been at any time in history ever. For most of history, all men did is they just rode around on horses, killed each other, went into the village, just raped all the women who were in the village who were the previous men who did this killed wives, and just took them for themselves.
Okay, on the side of honest about this, I think that you see, let's take statement at face value for the hell of it. You have, no, sorry, you have in literal hell. You have said, hey, we're not getting warlords, we're not cutting people heads off, and we're going to stay, so we're okay, right?
To be a man is to be abusive. He said they're not even like men anymore. They're not even. They're like women. They're not even abusive. So to be a man means you need to be abusive. Christian?
I'm gonna get
This is what you call never from the fucking bacon, bitch. Because what the fuck? That shit not even melted. Oh, this is what you call never from the bacon.
What's her restaurant? Just to be tested out by the waitress. They don't play in Miami. Even the waitresses are rude. This bitch felony of English. They don't play in Miami. Even the waitresses are rude. This bitch felony of English. They don't play in Miami. Even the. Can I get the bacon egg big? You call this a radio? Huh? You call it? Call it? Trust me. Let's get better together. If you guys are right, we're in. Let's go. We don't do anything. We're in. Let's go. I'm with your mom and dad right now. I have a good question for you. What's the question? Okay, ready? Okay. What is 55 times 6? 55 times 6? Yes.
Megan Good just posted this to her page, and I'm trying to figure out what's going on. Hey guys, Chiro to Trade Day, and Megan Good just dropped this on her IG page, and I'm trying to figure out, are they coming out with the next Power Rangers? But then it dawned on me, all of their names are Megan. Megan Good, Megan Fox, and Megan Thee Stallion. And if you're a 90s baby, you already know they dress like Power Rangers, so we're already like captured. Like, we're like, whoa, what's going on here? Like, are y'all coming out with a movie? Is it a music video? Like, what's going on? Clearly, all gorgeous women. And in her caption, she just had like a smirk. So it didn't really give us much, but maybe they're doing a video for Megan Thee Stallion and she gathered all the Megans. And obviously, if this was a superhero movie, they would definitely be better than the scene. I'm really trying to.
You might think this is a scoop of ice cream on top of fried chicken, but it's actually a giant scoop of honey butter. This is red chicken in Los Angeles, where people are calling it the
That was disgusting.